There I am. Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Michaela Smith. We have a lot to talk about in this forecast, some fun things looking ahead towards next week and some winter weather happening to the northeast right now. So snowy weekend weather, winter alerts all across the northeast. I'll show you that in just a second. It's the battle of warm versus cold. A lot of the U.S. is actually getting a chance to warm up. We had a very cold into January and for some a pretty cold start to February. Now we're starting to see that pattern change though, and after, again, several weekends in a row. We're talking about 70s in some places. Make those weekend plans now if you can. And then we look ahead towards next week, and with that pattern change that I just mentioned, we're talking about rounds of storms possible not only next week, but also heading more into mid-February. But first, yesterday was stop number 2 of the Raising Hail Tour. We were in Denton, Texas. Here are some fun photos. Here's our CEO, Derek Klein, giving his Hail 2026 forecast. Chipper, as always, saying, #HailTrace team. Hope Denton was kind to you all. Yes, Chipper, we're just talking about Denton right now. It was a ton of fun. So again, here's our CEO, Derek Klein, yesterday. We also had a great opportunity for a lot of people to come out and chat with our sponsors. It was a really packed crowd, over again 100 people that showed up yesterday in Denton. And then here is our winner, Nate. We gave away a big Yeti cooler and a fun other few prizes. And there's meteorologist Taylor Cox with Nate. So he was our lucky winner yesterday of our raffle. We do a raffle in each and every city. So again, 2 stops done now on the tour. We still have Omaha. That's next Thursday on February 12th. After that, we have Chicago, then Denver, and then Minneapolis will finish on March 3rd. So still 4 more stops on this tour, raffles and ticket giveaways at every single one of these fun prizes. So if you are not coming to the Raising Hail Tour just yet, go to raising-hail-tour.com. We still have tickets available for the rest of our cities. Now let's look at current conditions across the U.S. You can see where we have quite a bit of snow falling up to the mid-Atlantic and really the New England region, and we'll kind of zoom in here on that just a second. Small cold front moving through parts of Oklahoma. It's not really changing those temperatures too much. You're really not going to feel that. But where you are feeling the cold again is to the northeast. So heavy snow right now really across the Midwest. Ohio, Indiana saw some of that snow this morning. Now Kentucky, parts of Virginia, West Virginia seeing some of that snowfall. Maryland and Pennsylvania as well. Even New York, you're seeing a little bit of snow, not as much yet. That's going to change as we head through the rest of the weekend. We'll see more snow tonight into tomorrow. And then a few showers in parts of Tennessee and North Carolina. Not a ton of activity today in the south. Yesterday in Florida, that's where we had some showers and thunderstorms during the daytime. And it's pretty nice and quiet right now across really the middle of the country. And there's a few showers out towards the west. Temperature-wise, you can really see where it's nice and windy from all these pressure gradients and this just temperature change. A lot colder up to the north, 29 currently in Charleston, 32 in New York City, 31 in Fort Wayne. But we are in the 60s here in Oklahoma City, 75 in Dallas right now. Things are feeling really nice across a lot of the country. Let's look at these current alerts that we said. A ton happening to the northeast. Big one is going to be this extreme cold warning. Really cold temperatures are moving in this weekend. We have kind of 2 rounds of Arctic air that's moving in. Cold weather advisories are going to be this more light blue, white color. Then you can also see here in tan, we have high wind warning that parallels with these winter storm warnings. So that's where snow is falling right now actively as we speak. I just showed you that. But then you have these really breezy conditions because of that big temperature gradient that I just showed you. I wouldn't be shocked if we continue to see heavy snowfall and these high winds that maybe we see a bright red color show up a little bit later on. We might get a few blizzard warnings possible too if this again continues as a trend as it is right now. And then here in this purple color, that's going to be a winter weather advisory where they're seeing some winter activity, but maybe not as much snowfall as those areas under the winter storm warning. And then there's a little bit of activity. You can see a red flag warning down in the Florida area. Besides that, really just most of the activity for alerts wise are happening on the eastern half of the U.S. 24-hour snow totals, you can again, we'll zoom and see where some of those have been so far. It's been really closer to the Great Lakes and in the Midwest. You can see where some of these snowfall totals are starting to get a little bit higher, areas like West Virginia, where I just showed you that there is a winter storm warning in effect. Just south of the Great Lakes, areas like Fort Wayne, Toledo, maybe got a little bit of snowfall as well. Not a ton. I think we're talking about maybe a couple of inches possible. That's actively, getting added on more as we see that snowfall currently happening. And then here's again this wider view of where the snowfall has been over the last 24 hours across the U.S. Most of us not really missing out on any of that snow. Future radar, all right, let's kind of play this forward to see when the snow will continue. Here is heavy snowfall in the same area that we're seeing right now, West Virginia, with more just rain in the southern parts of Virginia and North Carolina through the rest of today into tomorrow. But then as you get towards tonight and tomorrow morning, you start to see this kind of next round of snow pushing out for higher up in the New England region, and then that will be done. And then we'll have another round of snowstorms that kind of start up in Minnesota, and that'll push across the Great Lakes Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning, and then we get a nice little break for some snow. Love that you were wearing red in honor of cardiovascular disease awareness. Yes, it is Wear Red Day, if you did not know, especially we like to draw attention to women. That was my mom that just commented on that, so thanks for watching, Mom. But yes, I am wearing red for Wear Red Day. I'll post a picture about that a little bit later on, but always fun to kind of bring attention to things that really do matter. All right, let's zoom in really quickly with what I just showed you again. So here's that timeline. This is 3:30 this afternoon. Heavy snowfall areas in southwest Virginia. Again, parts of Virginia, snow back up into parts of New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, right around Washington, D.C. And then it's not quite as cold to the south, so you can see a little bit more just rain at that part. Then you get to 7 p.m., a lot of that snow starts to kind of taper off, and then heavier snow moves into the north overnight tonight into Saturday morning. And then really even by tomorrow afternoon, a lot of that snow is kind of clearing areas like Boston, moving out off the coast. And then the next round comes in Saturday night, like I pointed out, on the Great Lakes. And then that will give us another round late Saturday night into Sunday morning for more snowfall. Midwest has been kind of used to it. They get these clippers this time of year, fast moving snow systems, but going to bring more snow. Here's future snow accumulation. You can see this is going up. This is by about noon on Sunday. So that area where we do see in West Virginia, kind of higher elevations, where that winter storm warning is in effect, they're talking about anywhere from maybe 4 to 6 inches possible. And then areas too up in parts of the northeast and New England region, you can see these blue colors too. That's again anywhere from around 4 to 6 inches more of snow that could happen over the next few days. Then we take a wider view and we play this forward a little bit more into next week, and we start to see more snow maybe back towards the Rocky Mountains by Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are areas that have been kind of missing that snow so far for this season. Now for severe weather, it's February. We're not really talking about severe weather too often. However, there are still areas over the next few days that there's a general thunderstorm risk, so we're not expecting any significant severe weather by any means for today. But back towards LA and California, general thunderstorm risk. You could see some showers. Again, hear a couple rumbles of thunder this afternoon. Then that area shifts tomorrow for your Saturday. So you're talking about New Mexico, parts of Arizona, near El Paso. That's where your general thunderstorm risk is again. Isolated storms, severe threat, very limited, but you could hear some rumbles of thunder. And then that area stays pretty similar on Sunday. It shifts just slightly back towards the west, so it's more in parts of Arizona, less in New Mexico. Again, not really expecting any severe weather through this weekend. And then once you get into Monday, so far, weather pattern is changing, but it doesn't look like we're going to have a crazy weather outbreak as of yet. But I do want to show you this changing weather pattern. You can already see in this 5-day rain chance outlook that we're adding more moisture back into the southern plains, also more moisture back towards the west, and then we continue to see this rainfall over the next several days across the east. And a big thing too that's bringing this change is we've not really dealt with a ton of weather over the last several days over the central plains and back towards the west. Well, that's been due to our good friend here, our high pressure system. As I play this forward though, you can see the high pressure system starts to move back towards the west. So this is by 12:30 on Saturday. It's not over the central U.S. anymore. Now it's back areas like California. And you're starting to see these dips in the jet stream. This is indicating to us, hey, this changing weather pattern is starting to move in, and these really strong low pressure systems that are bringing all the snow are just hanging off here off the coast. By Sunday, that high pressure system does really start to move, and by Monday, it's gone. Now we're talking about, again, another big dip in the jet stream coming Monday afternoon. So we'll have some chances for some rain, especially across Oklahoma and Texas on Monday. You can kind of see that area right here. Then that low pressure system starts to lift a little bit more up by Tuesday. There's that nether round that we're talking about, and then even Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have to watch for the chance for some rain into next week. There's that low pressure system. High pressure system still way out over here, which is why we are going to have a better chance to see at least moisture moving in for next week. All right, getting out of the jet stream, let's kind of play that future radar forward. Really quickly, I'll show you a different model for this weekend. I showed you the HER earlier. This is the NAM, so still bringing quite a bit of snow. This one's a little bit more aggressive in snow totals through the rest of your Friday. But you can still see by about midday Saturday, it starts to pull off a lot of the snow out of the New England region. But here's your Saturday night to Sunday. Like I mentioned, Great Lakes start to see that snow Saturday night. Now it's moving all the way across. If you're in, again, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, this is Sunday morning. You're getting this next round. This one, again, is being a little bit more aggressive with it than I think what we're actually going to see. But it brings even snow all the way back to areas like West Virginia and Virginia that are seeing snow right now. So you could be dealing with yet another round before this weekend is over. And then after that, things do start to quiet down for at least the snowfall totals. then our eyes kind of turn towards next week and those chances for rain or at least some storms. Next round looks like it's possible Tuesday. Doesn't look overly impressive right now, but again, we're just saying, hey, there's moisture coming back in. This is more exciting what we've been dealing with the last several days. We have at least a chance to talk about some storms and some weather next week. I, for one, am looking forward to that. Here's looking ahead towards Friday. We have a storm system that's going to move in. It could bring some snow, potentially back to part of the plains. This is very far out now. It's a week away. I would not take that to the bank and say for sure you're going to see snow next week. Round 2 could be moving in by Saturday. This model, this is the GFS. This has been very back and forth on when it wants to bring this in. Yesterday I showed you Thursday, Friday timeline. Now this is looking more Friday, Saturday timeline. It doesn't know for sure what day, but it's trying to say, hey, the ingredients are coming together, that there could be a day next week or a few days that the storm chances pick up a little bit more. So we're keeping a close eye on that. Here's Saturday, again, that's the potential round 2 right now. Round 3 would be Sunday. Usually we see something over the central plains one day. It's going to be slightly more to the east by the next day. So we'll have to look ahead towards next weekend. What we do know for sure is that the Climate Prediction Center is saying, hey, more moisture is moving back in. Here's our extended rain outlook. This is valid the February 11th through the 15th. And really a general portion of the U.S. is talking about wetter than average conditions and warmer than average conditions. Check this out. We are finally done seeing the blue on the map. Now you really get into these warmer than average conditions, 15 to 20 degrees above average. Talking about a nice warm up, a chance to thaw, especially for anywhere seeing more snow right now as we head into the middle of February. But that's also going again to give us more of those snow or those less of those snow chances and more of those storm chances. Divided weekend. Here's your look today. Cold to the northeast. Everyone else is really nice and warm. You get that reinforced cold air moving in tomorrow for your Saturday. Again, if you're central U.S. and back towards the west, you are nice and warm. It is in the 70s. You are going to have a beautiful weekend ahead. Sunday, it's still cold from Toronto, New York, Washington, down to parts of North Carolina, South Carolina. But by Monday, the high and the warmer air is trying to push that cold air out. By Tuesday, really, most of it's gone. That warm air is moving in. Then you're sitting at Wednesday now, still looking pretty nice. And it's kind of when the change really does start to dominate more of that weather pattern. So we'll show you temperatures for this weekend. Pretty chilly tomorrow morning, 6 degrees in Detroit, 7 in Chicago. But you're in the 30s in Oklahoma City, 40s in Dallas. Staying pretty chilly in the afternoon. Again, other areas are in the 60s and 70s. It's going to be nice this weekend across the plains. Then you get to Sunday morning, pretty chilly. Okay, now Detroit's sitting at -6. No, that's not the feel-like temperature. That's the actual temperature by Sunday morning. So that's why we said reinforced cold Arctic air moving in. Sunday afternoon doesn't really warm up too much in locations, but if you're back in the plains, it does. And then by Monday, you can see this really dark purple area. That's like the coldest air, and it's starting to move out now at that point. Still cold for some. Portland, you're sitting at -2 Monday morning, 0 in Philadelphia. But everywhere else, you're really starting to see kind of that change, and the purple colors are moving out. And by Tuesday, really a lot of us are starting to kind of see that bigger change now. The warmer air is moving in, especially by the afternoon. That's when things start to warm up Tuesday, and then you'll really notice it by Wednesday. Before we jump off today, I want to make sure we don't have any questions. John, I know you're always watching very closely. He says no. Hey, it's a Friday. You know, people are enjoying it being Friday. They're ready to get to that weekend, especially, again, if you're in the plains like I just showed you, you know those temperatures are going to be nicer. No one wants to be inside watching stuff. I totally get that. John is watching and he said, that's what I like to hear. Rumble of thunder, but no threat for severe weather. Yes, possible thunder. You can enjoy it, maybe relax a little bit. Sometimes it's really good to sleep too. I'm not overly concerned just yet with the threat for severe weather. Chipper says, thanks, Michaela. John, you got a shout out too from Chipper. Always watching. There you go. And if you guys can always follow us, you can give us a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at just HailTrace. We are always talking about things happening in the weather. Like I showed you at the beginning of the forecast, the Raising Hail Tour is happening right now. We've already had 2 stops with 4 more still to come. So we like to give you guys kind of the behind the scenes and just things that are happening along the tour. So following us on our social media is going to be the best way to see that. Or severe weather season is around the corner. Again, it is February. Oftentimes by March, we start to talk more about storms. And then once it's April and May, it's too late. So if you want to get a subscription, you want to do that with us now before severe weather season hits. So you're staying ahead of the storm and ahead of the game. You have those plans in place now. Give us a call at 855-334-4245, or you can email us at info@hailtrace.com, or you can visit our website at hailtrace.com as well, and we can hook you up with a wind, hail, or tornado map or a subscription for this upcoming year. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back here on Monday, same time, same place. Hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend.